Once again, I'm sorry for the text-to-speech. Can't do it. I can't read that much. I know it's not great, but it is how it is. And here we are, Christmas Day. Everybody's celebrating. I think we talked to almost everyone, other than the musicians. So
Alexander.
Let's do that.
Alexander says, Mistress Magdalene.
We're on a schedule. We
Merry
need to finish
Christmas.
this tonight. I don't intend to do another stream of this game, so it ends one way or the other.
Player says Merry Christmas, Alexander. Merry Christmas, Casimirs. Enjoying the night? Alexander says very much so. The cookies especially. I haven't had such a wonderful gingerbread in ages.
I mean, I didn't make the cookies myself, I just cut them.
We were just setting up to perform. Did you have a particular song in mind you want us to play? Between the two of us, we know all the Christmas songs between here and Spain. Option 1 of 3.
Alright, do we have any requests?
What about Be Welcome to Us, Lord Christ? Option 2 of 3. I always like good Christian men rejoice. Option 3 of 3. How about From Heaven Above to Earth I Come?
I don't think I know any of these songs. So... let's do From Heaven Above to Earth I Come.
Alexander says the one written by Martin Luther? I don't oppose, but
Oh.
are you sure we ought to? Option 1 of 2. Why not?
Maybe you're right.
Option 1 of 2.
Let's
Option 2
do
of 2. I
Good
always like
Christian Men
rejoice.
Rejoice.
Alexander says a folk tune. One of Casimir's favorites.
Right. I'm gonna get rickrolled.
Once Kaz and I play what we prepared, we'll be sure to play that one. Merry Christmas, everyone. Since it is Christmas, Casimir's, and I wanted to share a special song with all of you.
There you
in
go.
the spirit of giving.
A special song. Do you think
Please,
they actually
enjoy.
recorded the song?
In dulce jubilo, nun singet und seid froh, unsers
They did.
Herzens Wonne
In German.
liegt in Praesepio und leuchtet als die Sonne, Matris in Gremio, Alpha es et O, Alpha es et O.
Well, doesn't that put you in the Christmas spirit?
O Jesu,
And here's Casimir 20-minute solo.
dir ist mir so weh, tröst mir mein Gemüte, o puer optime, durch alle deine Güte, o Princeps gloriae, trae
I mean,
me
Simon is definitely enjoying it.
trae me poste.
Andres says, Nazios, Grit says, Veronica, Baltasar, Anna says wonderful. Simply wonderful. Alexander says thank you, thank you.
Thank you,
Truly.
Anna, for summing up everybody's thoughts.
Please, return to your drinks. We'll be playing all night. Happy Christmas.
Alright, cool. Now,
Big Jurg.
do we have to talk to Bjork? Can we not? I need to talk to my father before he dies.
Big Jurg.
Bjork.
Big Jurg says hey, Magdalene. Sorry to bother you during the feast.
What up?
Player says oh, hello.
I'm
Jurg.
looking for an excuse to get out of here.
Did you need something? Big Jurg says well, all the chatter around the revolt earlier had me thinking. You're nearly done with the mural,
Yes.
aren't you? The last time you talked with the council, you said you were working on the final portion, painting the revolt.
Yes.
I don't mean to nag during the feast, though. That's Veronica's job.
Damn.
Player says I should have it done soon. I've been listening to people around town talk about the revolt, so I can get a better idea of how to paint it. Everyone has a different idea of how that night happened, but I think I finally settled on how I want to depict it.
Did I?
Big Jurg says yeah. Option 1 of 3.
Oh
I want
boy,
to
here we
honor what
go.
the peasants stood for. I'll show Otto giving a speech, and the soldiers in the distance.
That doesn't sound great.
Option 2 of 3. I'll paint the peasants burning the abbey and the mill, and the landsknechts defending the monks.
That's also not great.
Option 3 of 3, I think I'll show the aftermath of the revolt and paint the ruined abbey surrounded by everyone who died and their families.
Now that's a much better idea, I think. You know, remind everybody of what they lost, not what they were
Option 1 of
fighting
3,
for,
option 2
because
option
that's
3 of 3,
probably
I
not a
think
good
I'll show the
idea.
after. Big Yurg says I don't know if that's such a good idea. The mural was meant to honor Tassing, not stir up grief.
Yeah, but dude, I can't.
Maybe Claus was the better pick to paint the mural after all.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Jorg.
Anyway, I'll get out of your way. You've got better things to do. I think it was looking for you.
It's
too.
not bringing grief, it's a commemoration of the dead. There's a difference.
Option 1 of 3, hi Jay. I'm certain he. Option 2 of 3, he always is. Player says I think I'll actually go home for the night. I've had enough of its flirting, and I should check in on my dad. Big Yurg says tell him hello from all of us, alright?
Sure.
Player says I will. Good night.
Oh, I can finally
Big Yurg says
leave.
good night. Golden hand in.
What did he say?
Church and Druckers.
Alright, we're going home.
Emily says
What
God
the
bless you and Merry
frick, you
Christmas.
scared the living
Magdalene.
shit out of me. That's never good. Every time Emily says something, someone dies.
Player says oh. Merry Christmas, Sister Emily. Were we bothering you with the noise next door?
She's still alive in there, apparently.
Emily says no, not at all. Hearing people celebrating Christ's birth brings me great joy. Christmastide should be a heartening time of year for us all. Option 1 of 3, I enjoyed seeing everyone feeling better about the future, especially after all Tassing has endured.
Yeah, true.
Emily says the people here have suffered greatly, but we must always find hope in the midst of despair.
Ah, apologies. Good at muting time.
It is fitting to celebrate Christ's birth on days with so little light and warmth.
Sometimes I just try to hold in the cough and then it comes out no matter what.
People need Christmas in the depth of winter to remind them that spring will return, and we will all have a chance to live again. Magdalene, who is that?
Who is Woo? It's him.
Option 1 of 3, you. Hey, wait. Player says please excuse me, Sister Emily. I need to check on my father. Emily says of course. Player says thank you,
Did
sister.
he come here to finish the job? Did he kill freaking
Player
Klaus?
says the door is open.
Oh,
Is
no.
someone here? Dad.
Oh no.
Drucker house. Church and Druckers.
Can I
Drucker house
pick up a
upper.
weapon?
Still as messy as ever. Drucker house upper.
Pick up the broom at least. Something to defend yourself.
Player says oh, thank God.
Oh, he's fine.
Claus says Magdalene,
Well,
is that you? What's the matter? Option 1 of 2, someone was standing near the house. The door was open. Player says I was afraid something might have happened to you. Claus says I'm sorry, I didn't hear anything. I've been asleep most of the day. Most of the evening. I'm worried about you, Magdalene.
are you?
Player says you're worried about me. Claus says you're working too hard. I know taking care of me takes up so much of your time.
Actually, it doesn't really. It's mostly the mural and talking to everybody every day.
And I know how hard you've been working on the mural. Option 1 of 3, I wanted to finish it BEF for Christmas.
BEF for Christmas.
Claus says I know. Damn near an impossible task, given the size of that rat house. Well, maybe if you did just one wall. Hee hee.
God damn it, Klaus.
I'm not going to make it, Magdalene. Option 1 of 3, that's not true.
I know.
Option 3 of 3, I know. Player says. ... Claus says it's alright. This is just life. I'm glad I'm going before you, even if it's sooner than either of us would like. I've already seen too much death in my time. Player says I just wanted to show you what I could do. I wanted you to be proud of me. Claus says I have been. Every day of your life. You've never needed to prove anything to me. I wish I could stay to see the mural when you finish it, but I don't need to. I know it will be more beautiful than anything these old hands have ever made.
God damn it, man. You're not gonna see the mural?
Option 1 of 2, Mom was the artist.
Don't say
Option
that.
2 of 2, Claus says it's true, though. I mean, I got along alright, but I always knew you would surpass me before long. You can already see things that I never could. See things and make them real.
Yeah, so about that note with the purple ink before you die, Dad.
Option 1 of 2, I don't know if that's true. Option 2 of 2, I am trying. Claus says you're doing it.
You're doing it.
Whether I die tonight or tomorrow or the next day, I'm not going to be here much longer. One morning you're going to wake up and you'll have to do things for yourself, love things for yourself. And you'll have to share it with the world.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here.
Love is the only reason to do anything in this life. Player says.
Just leave this cursed place.
Claus says,
Never
"Oh,
return.
all this talking. Too much. Could you bring me something to eat?" Player says, "Of course, Dad. You haven't eaten all day." Claus says, "And I missed the Christmas feast, too. I can't believe no one brought me a cookie."
That is actually insane, though.
Player says, "I'll go get some soup."
We're gonna come back and he's gonna be dead. How much you wanna
Rucker
bet?
House.
He's not gonna survive this. Oh my god.
Andreas says, "Claus."
Sorry, Andreas? Did they just say Andreas? No fucking way.
"I'm sorry, Claus. About everything." Claus says, "You're here. Option 1 of 3. I've been trying to keep Magdalene safe."
Oh man. Oh.
Andreas says, "I've been trying to figure it out this whole time. After the fire, it's all I could think about. That. And them. They've never left me. They're all still there. All in the dance of death."
That's why they were painted on the wall. There was only one painter. The whole place.
The Baron. Piero. Frank. Hannah. Peter. Otto. Casper. August.
Who?
And now you. Magdalene says, "Dad." Player says, "Oh God, it's you."
Wait, so was it him that tried to keep? Well, he said he was trying to keep her safe, but wasn't him that threw the rock down the well? Was it someone else?
"Who are you? What are you doing to my father?" Claus says, "Magdalene, it's all right. It's all right." Andreas says, "I'm sorry. I've forgotten my manners after all these years, and you've likely forgotten my face. Or what it once was."
Is he all burned? Oh, a little bit.
Claus says, "Magdalene, this is Andreas Mailer."
Holy shit.
Back from the dead.
Back from the dead indeed. Oh, I can't believe he survived.
Option 1 of 2. The earliest memory I have is of you running into a burning library.
Very true.
Andreas says, "I'm sorry." Player says, "I don't understand. No one could have survived that." Andreas says, "Maybe I shouldn't have, but I did."
Did he jump off the window? Like, what the heck? How did he survive?
Claus says, "I don't understand, Andreas. Where have you been all these years?" Andreas says, "Hiding from the world, in the ruins, mostly. Sometimes in the woods when it was warm. Stealing bread from Grit. Stealing books from you." Claus says, "Oh. So I wasn't going crazy." Andreas says, "It's the only thing that's kept my mind from forgetting what words are." Player says, "Wait, how did you survive the fire?"
Yeah, how did you survive the fire?
Andreas says, "With some difficulty. I grabbed as many books as I could and threw them into the scriptorium. When the smoke got too thick, I started to black out. The next thing I remember was being on fire. I tried putting it out,
Yikes.
but I couldn't think straight. I found my way to the trapdoor that went to the crypt. At least, I think I did. I can't really remember.
Oh, that's true. That was in the library.
When I woke up, everyone was dead or gone. I couldn't face any of you. I couldn't go back to Sabina. That empty house. So I hid. Option 1 of 2. Why have you been following me? I thought you were trying to kill me."
That's a very good question.
Andreas says, "What happened at the mine was an accident. I just stepped too close to the edge."
Dude, are you serious? Is that it? Or that was just an accident?
"I'm sorry. I was afraid to talk to you. Afraid to talk to anyone." Option 1 of 2. Did you leave us those notes? The ones with the purple writing? Andreas says, no. Those were written by a different occult hand, one that does not want you to finish your mural. One that has killed and may kill again to stop you from telling Tassing's history. Player says Tassing's history? Why? Andreas says because Tassing's real history is at odds with the story we've all been told. It's been covered, bit by bit, layer by layer, until it could no longer be seen. But it's still here. It's always been here, hidden beneath our feet.
So it has to be one of the church, right? Trying to hide the pagan origins or the Roman origins or whatever.
And it's still protected, haunted by the specter of death that has hung over this place for generations. Claus says the thread puller. Player says thread puller? Beneath our feet? What are you talking about? Andreas says the person who attacked your father is the same person who manipulated someone into killing Otto Zimmermann.
There you go.
Claus says and Lorenz Rothvogel. Andreas says yes. And they travel through the Roman aqueduct that connects Tassing and Kiersau. It's a network of tunnels I've become quite familiar with, and I've seen the ghost that haunts them, that can squeeze through the tiniest opening.
I'm telling you, if it is that freaking, like, tiny priest, the one that looked very dumb, but maybe wasn't.
I've seen it bend itself in half to reach places I could never follow. I've traveled along every inch of the aqueduct and the old city, but there is one place I have never found, the lair where the thread puller retreats to. The ancient Roman temple that it is determined to hide from view.
The Mithrarium.
Player says the Mithraeum.
Mithraeum.
You found it? Andreas says no, but I mapped out a darkness between the collapsed tunnels, and I believe I know how to get there. Come with me. I'll show you. Option 1 of 3 now? Option 3 of 3
Dad?
Dad.
I mean, I want to go. Now?
Option 1 of Andreas says if the thread puller becomes aware of what we're doing. Well, I don't know what they'll do. We need to act quickly. Player says will you be alright? Claus says yes, I'll be fine. Protect my daughter, Andreas.
Oh my god.
Andreas says with my life, Claus. I promise.
You
Player
armed?
says alright. Let's find the Mithraeum.
Holy crap, I can't believe it's Andreas.
Player says the rat house. What are we doing here? Andreas says when the men dug the foundation, they found Roman ruins that had been buried over time. Lucky never wasted stone, so he used the Roman wall as one of the cellars. There's a way, inside.
Of course there is. There's a freaking way under every house in Tassing, isn't
To
there?
the hidden place. Option 1 of 2. Option, Andreas says yes. Player says alright. Into the Rotskeller. Rotskeller.
The Rotskeller. There's a pickaxe.
Player says alright, that wall is different. Does that mean this is the place?
Oh my god, look at him, he's all
Andreas
like
says
bent
no.
and burned.
It's
Poor
two-sided.
Andreas.
New and old. This was above ground once. It carried water.
The aqueduct. Yeah, it did lead into the Mithraeum, right?
Look. Player says
Cornelius?
alright. I think I can make it out.
Here at Balneo, et complet sextum gradum in Mithreo.
Cornelius goes to the bath today and completes the 6th step in the Mithraeum. Andreas says yes. You see? Player says no, I most certainly do not see.
Yeah, no, I don't
Andreas.
see.
Andreas says well, here.
Well, there it goes, breaking down
Option
the
1
rat
of
house.
3 What is wrong with you? Option 2 of 3 A warning would be nice. Andreas says oh. Sorry.
Oh.
I'm not used to being around people. This is the aqueduct. Option 1 of 2 yes, and.
Yes, and it's the most toxic answer ever. Holy shit. Yes, and?
Option 2 of 2 The aqueduct carries water to the baths, so you think this will take us to the Mithraeum? Andreas says exactly. Player says you seem quite confident. Andreas says we know it exists. I know where it is not. I believe this is the only place it could be.
Right.
It must be near the baths. Option 1 of 2 You believe it?
Well, I mean, you already smashed the hole in the wall, so might as
Option
well
2 of
look.
2 Well. Andreas says after you, please.
What do you mean after me? Aren't you supposed to be the one to protect me? You make a young lady go first? Chapter 8. Manu Propria. Oh man, he can't even walk straight. Freaking hell, man.
Bathhouse. Player says this part of the tunnel has collapsed. We're not getting to the Mithraeum this way. Andreas says I think, yes. Casper and I found a collapsed section of the
Casper.
aqueduct near town.
Oh, right, Casper,
He
yeah.
explored it, but couldn't describe what he found in the dark. This must be the other side.
Oh, the intelligence. He's remembering the traits I gave Andreas.
I shouldn't have let him go. I should have taken more care with him. Option 1 of 2 Andreas, we can't do anything about that now. Andreas says yes, of course.
Is it radioactive? It is.
Bathhouse, bathhouse.
Bathhouse, bathhouse, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bathhouse, bathhouse.
The decoration. These must have been the baths. Player says it doesn't look like there's a way through. Andreas says silt. All the floods kept carrying it down here. Hundreds of years of floods. What if we can't get through? What if it's buried forever? Option 1 of 2, it's too early to get this discouraged. Player says let's keep looking.
Oh my god, sorry, that killed me. They said it's too early to get discouraged, and there's literally a freaking wall. Okay, we can keep going
More
down.
stairs, down. Would something be below the baths? Andreas says a hypocaust. They use
hypo
warm
what
air
now?
to heat the rooms above. Roman colonies in the north often had them. Player says let's hope those haven't filled with silt as well.
The hypocaust. What the hell?
Player says do you know where we're going? These pillars just kind of go on in all directions. Andreas, could you look that way? I think I'm going to try exploring ahead. Andreas says of course.
I'm controlling Andreas. Okay, here we go.
Laurent says how could you abandon your work, Andreas?
What?
I thought you were a true artist, a master of your craft. But all you created was misery.
Baron? Oh boy.
Ferenc says the only thing more pitiful than watching you work in that scriptorium was your love of that dying art. Hannah says I had thought you understood what I was forced to do. Your callousness killed us all.
You understand what I was forced to do, so we were absolutely right. Anna killed Otto. Is he shaking though? What's happening?
Andrea says no. No. This isn't right.
There is just so much going on here. All right, let's let's just think about this one for a second. Okay. Don't even know where to begin with this one. This is quite something as well. Those catfishes, by the way. There's a little thing here. And then there's this little fella. Right there. Very interesting.
I can't be here right now. How did I get here? Melancholia says Andreas. Andreas says you're still here. Melancholia says yes.
Melancholia.
No longer.
Melancholia.
Option 1 of 2 you relieving? Melancholia says I am the last vestige of reason that once ruled this court. When it goes, I will go with it.
Right, so when I lose my mind, she's gonna leave. Who's the one behind? Is he like Big Andreas? What's going on there?
Andreas says but who will rule the city if you leave? Melancholia says no one. You must leave this place forever, Andreas. You must abandon it for good. Andreas says but how? What can I do? I don't even know how I got here. Melancholia says this was once a place of refuge for you, Andreas.
It's my mind palace.
But it has become a prison you constructed to protect yourself. Andreas says from what? Melancholia says from pain. From risk. From life itself. Andrea says but I can't stay here. I have to help Magdalene. How do I get out? Melancholia says Andreas, you are the architect. I will help you as best I can, but you are the only one who can answer that.
Can I just leave? Oh my god, it's the maze. Well, fine, I see the way.
Sabina says hello, Andreas.
Sabina?
Option 1 of 2 is that, you Sabina? Sabina says yes, of course. I'm still here. Part of me will always be here with you.
I don't think Andreas ever cared about his wife.
We haven't talked in so long. Why? Option 1 of 3 I ran out of things to say.
No, everything
Option
fell
2 of
apart.
3 everything fell apart.
Absolutely.
Sabina says that doesn't mean we couldn't have put it back together. Option 1 of 2 I didn't know how to. Sabina says no one does. I wish you had given us another chance. Option 1 of 2 I do, too. Sabina says it may be too late for us, but it's not too late for you, Andreas.
Is it not?
It's not too late for Magdalene. Andreas says yes.
Well, I hope
Magdalene.
it's not too late for Magdalene.
I have to help her. Sabina says you can, Andreas. But you have to leave this place behind for good. Andreas says I know. I can, I will.
You
Sabina
will.
says you will. Andreas
You
says
will.
thank you. Will I ever see you again?
No.
Sabina says not in this place, but maybe someday, in a better place, in a better dream.
I mean, she's dead in real life. Probably. Who are we going to see next? My dead child? Good old Caspar?
Casper says
There
Master
he is.
Andreas. Andreas says oh. Casper. It's really you. Casper says it's so good to see you again, Master.
Honestly, the game talked about Caspar like it was a bad thing that he got away from all of this, but I think it was a good thing.
Option 1 of 2 you two, Casper. It's been so long and I thought, option 1 of 2 I thought you didn't make it? Casper says but I did. I made it out of Tassing and back to Salzburg. Things weren't much better there, but it worked out in the end. Option 1 of 2 it's hard to see it that way. Casper says it's alright. Believe me, Master Andreas. It's alright, you shouldn't blame yourself anymore. Option 1 of 2 I let my family down. I let you down.
I really did let him down.
Andreas says I couldn't stop Peter, couldn't save Tassing.
I was mean to Caspar every time I could.
I couldn't even save more than a
It
couple
was
armfuls
so
of books.
uncalled for. I was just role-playing a bitter Andreas, okay?
Casper says you did what you could, Master. Everyone knows you did. And that's all any of us can do. Andreas says alright, thank you. Casper says thank you for everything you taught me.
I felt it was more realistic that way, you know? A man that got old, bored with his own work, with his own job, lost a child, stuck in a broken marriage, like a terrible, terrible life.
Andreas says wait, what happened? This was the way out.
What?
Before I started talking to Casper, I know this was the way out.
Oh boy.
Beatrice says your mind is fighting itself, Andreas. It remembers the pain of life. It's trying to protect you from it. Andreas
Damn
says
it.
Beatrice. Beatrice says yes. Andreas says I thought you were gone. Beatrice says you brought me back. Andreas says oh.
Oh.
So, what do I do now? Beatrice says keep going.
Keep going. I mean, I will keep going. I see the way, but we have to go all the way back. And that's assuming this doesn't change again.
August says.
Oh, for fuck's sake, here we go.
Option 1 of 2 you, 2.
You too?
Andreas says it's been so many nights, so many years without seeing your face. I thought I had forgotten it. August says. ... Option 2 of 2 I knew you were still here, though. Andreas says quietly waiting for me. I can't change the past, can't cover it up. It's always there under the surface, no matter how I try to bury it, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. August says. Andreas says I. August says it's alright. Andreas says.
Oh, some sort of self-forgiveness
W what?
from his own child.
August says it's alright, Daddy. Andreas says. It is.
He never spoke. Right? The kid never spoke before now.
August says you don't have to hide here anymore. Option 1 of 2 I am scared, August.
What about you and Caspar?
Option
Well,
2
I
of 2,
will
but what
remember
about
them.
me? Andreas says and your mother? August says we're not really here. And there are people who need you.
Exactly.
Option 1 of 2. What if I can't help them? August says I don't know, Daddy. I'm too little.
That such a good point.
I think you have to figure that out. Andrea says of course, you're right.
You're old enough to figure your stuff out, Andreas.
Thank
Come
you.
on.
August says I love you, Daddy.
Aww.
Andrea says I love you, too.
Aww.
Good night, August. August says good night.
It's nice that we're
Andrea
getting some
says they
sort
shipped
of
it again.
resolution
The walls.
for Andreas's story.
Beatrice says it's still trying to protect you. Andrea says no. Beatrice says it's not. Andrea says no.
No,
I
it's
mean,
trying to keep
no,
me in.
I don't have to do this. This is my mind. My maze. And I'm leaving. Beatrice says good. But this next part might be confusing.
What?
Andrea says what? I don't understand.
That the Virgin Mary?
I don't understand any of this.
Me neither, Andreas. We're in the same boat.
Option 1 of 2. Why are you holding the maze? Beatrice says two
Oh,
things
it's
are
Beatrice.
merging in your mind. Andrea says you and. Beatrice says there are layers to everything, even our memories. Over time, the foundations become buried. We can no longer recall how we got here, no longer recall what came before. Andrea says and what came before? Beatrice says Our Lady, watching over the labyrinth as I watch over you.
Right, the Lady of the Labyrinth.
And even this has roots that reach deep into the past. There was not always a lady to watch over the labyrinth. But there was a labyrinth.
So the labyrinth thing came before the Lady of the Labyrinth? Is that Lady Kearsall? What the frick? Is that Mars?
Andrea says what? I don't understand.
Who is that?
Sister Emily.
Amelie. Amelie was the one going around killing people? Was she crazy all along? Oh my god, look, that's the story. Is that Mars?
Is this real? Am I still in my mind?
How does she even get here?
Emily says you are here, with me, and we are here in spirit.
What? Makes sense she'd have visions about the murders. That is very true. She was about to commit them.
Option 1 of 2. Are we still in the ruins? Emily says we are in the tabernacle. The heart of the labyrinth. Your spirit was wandering and the Lord brought you here. Andrea says but... I don't understand. How did you leave your cell?
She dug a hole. Is that a hole?
Emily says I have not. We are only here in spirit, Andreas.
Wait, are we?
Option 1 of 3. Is this real? Am I finally experiencing that which I have only read about in the testimony of mystics? Emily says reading cannot communicate a spiritual experience.
What is happening?
But yes, this is real, and you need not be afraid. Have faith. If you are here with me, it is the Lord's will.
She's just crazy. I think she's just insane. She thinks
Slayer
she's here
says
in
Andreas.
spirit.
Sister Emily. What are you doing here, sister? Emily says this is the center of the labyrinth. The tabernacle. It is where the Lord sends my spirit to do his will. He has also guided your spirits here. There must be a purpose to it. Option 1 of 3. Sister, we're looking for the Mithraeum. Is this it?
Oh, this isn't my spirit. I walked here through the
Option 3 of
aqueduct.
3. No,
In fact.
this isn't my... Emily says you are confused, Magdalene. It's understandable.
No, I think you're confused.
My own visions have perplexed me for all of my life. Even though this seems strange, even though it is a place of spirit, it is very real. The Lord has called me to this place for many years. He has always made his will known to me. Soon, he will make it known to you.
Huh?
Andrea says, Sister, how does your spirit come to this place? Emily says, through the door between life and death.
Through the door between life and death.
When my spirit hears the call, here the Lord tells me what messages I must bear, and to whom.
So she writes the notes.
Option 1 of 2. You deliver messages? Emily says yes. Once, long ago, I was a scribe.
Of course she was.
I copied many works of the great church doctors. Origen, in particular. But that all ended with the fire. It ended with my life.
She's even got the purple vest, which is unusual. Because they said the color purple was a rare pigment.
Andrea says wait. Emily says I thought I had given up the pen forever, until the visions returned.
I thought I had given up the pen forever until the vision returned.
Andreas says no. Amelie says when fire took my abbey, I couldn't save my sisters. Not one. All I could grab was a single book and a bolt of cloth. I couldn't understand why God had spared me alone. But he showed me. God had a higher purpose for me, for my hand. Father Thomas explained it to me. He makes everything clear.
Oh, is it Thomas then? I mean, fucking, I never trusted Thomas.
He tells me what I must do, what the Lord wills me to do. Andreas says it was you. This whole time, you wrote the notes. Player says I found one by my dad when he was attacked. Andreas says Sister Emily, you pushed those people into committing murder. Emily says what?
What? What up?
No. No. That can't be true. The Lord would not use me for such a purpose.
The Lord wouldn't, but Thomas would.
Option 1 of 3, calm yourself, sister. We'll figure this out. Option 2 of 3, but that's what happened, sister. You wrote those notes.
It wasn't the Lord's
Option
will,
3
it's just
of 3, maybe
insane.
it wasn't the Lord's will, but your own. Emily says no. Andrea says or someone else's. Emily says no. I wouldn't. He wouldn't. There was nothing in his messages about murder. No, no, no. I am not
No,
here.
no, no.
This can't be happening.
Sister, I'm afraid you are here and this is happening.
This can't be happening.
Oh. Oh my god. She die?
Thomas says Sister Emily, SHH, it's alright. Player says Father Thomas. How did you get down here?
It's him. It was always him.
Thomas says Tassing is an old place. It's buried many ancient roads and tunnels over the centuries. People walk above the hidden ways every day without even knowing it. Though in truth it was Sister Emily who rediscovered them first. And found this place. Andrea says wait, the dimensions of this room. This is the foundation of the church.
Ah, there you go.
Father Thomas, did you? Thomas says in other circumstances I would be overjoyed to see you, Andreas. In truth, I am still happy you are alive. Thank God.
Are you though?
But I think the occasion of this reunion leaves little to rejoice about. Andrea says you.
You.
Option 1 of 2, you knew about this place. Options.
Alright, let me see
language,
if
high
I can at
contrast,
least read for the final part
photosensitive,
of the
voice,
game.
Microsoft, off.
You and Sister Amelie were behind all of the murders? No, she had no part in this. But the notes, she wrote them. She did, but she did not understand their purpose. I guided her, I told her what to write. You abuse her love and her trust for your own purposes. He who wishes to follow the love's way must regard neither cost nor shame. Nor pain he must stand to everything, even her most terrible commands. I am ashamed to admit it, but yes, I did. What end? What was the point of all of this? Look around you, what do you see? A Roman temple? Roman ruins. Look closer. It looks like the statue of Saint Moritz from the meadow. It was never the head of Saint Moritz. And it's not the hand of Saint Moritz. It's the head of Mars. It was the hand of Mars. That would break the entire history of Tassing. That would destroy the entire credibility that Tassing was founded as a Christian colony. It was never the case. Look, that's the head. That's probably the head that Otto had. And images of Saint Sasha from the shrine. I don't understand. It's Saint Moritz and Saint Sasha, and Mars and Diana. How can it be both? When the Romans left Tassing, their buildings, their temples, their statues remained. Christian settlers settled here centuries later. They found time-worn fragments of what imperial grasp, I can't read. This is why I was doing the freaking text speech. The statue of Mars Pater that once watched over the Roman fields stood there, still headless and nameless. It's the broken statue that's on the way to the mill. You know, that's just the feet of the statue. That was it. The settlers believed it was St. Moritz. It was already a legend where they had come from. They found the shrines of Sasha, and not understanding she was an aspect of Diana, believed she was another local saint. The people turned them into saints? Sanctity and sainthood exist outside of what people believe, Magdalene. People cannot turn someone into a saint any more than they can unmake the divinity of Christ. But they knew of the saints and learned local legends of the region and applied them to the figures they found here. No one knew they were Roman gods because there was no account of what the Romans did and left here. Except for the Historia Tassi. But the Historia Tassi was not known then. Perhaps it had not even been written then. Fuck, and I painted the story of Mars in the mural. Oof. But I also painted the story of St. Moritz and Sasha, so maybe that's a good thing, you know? They're one and the same. I painted them both. By accident. Who knows how long that book had been lost before it made its way to Father Matthias? And you killed him for it. Yes, with poison. No one suspected. He died of poison and no one suspected? It must have been quite subtle. His death was unexpected, but I was the only person he confided in about what he had read in Historia Tassi. When Father Matthias learned that there was no evidence that St. Moritz had ever come to Tassing, that the shrine to him in the meadow was a statue of Mars the Roman had erected hundreds of years ago, that Saint Sasha was the Roman goddess Diana, he resolved to deal with it. And you resolved to deal with him. Andreas, for people believe in Saint Moritz. They believe in miracles God had worked through his hand. And they believe in the legend of Sasha, that she helped Moritz and watches over Tassing still. Why does it matter? That was worth killing the abbot? I believed it was then, yes. If St. Moritz never came to Tassing, what's in the reliquary? What are the pilgrims coming to see? What does it mean for the people who pray to him, to Saint Sasha, and believe their prayers were answered? I mean, didn't he say, like, sanctity and sacredness exist outside of these things, so it doesn't matter, really. What does it mean for the church that has given people hope fixed like a false star in a dark sky? If the people have reason to doubt the validity of the saints, can they doubt the church? Can they doubt the gospel, the word of God? People must have suspected something odd over the years, Father. Suspicion is not proof, especially when no one really wants to know the truth. People have faith in spite of doubts. That is why I have worked to preserve the legends of the saints. Preserving a lie. I preserve the lie to illuminate greater truth. God so loved the world that he gave his only son. You believe this? You truly believe this? Eternal life is yours. The saints have walked among us. Among us? Us. And the relics work miracles, and they hear our prayers and answer them. And the two that protect this town were never here. You don't need to know that, Andreas. There are times when God feels so far away from us in the mountains. But a peasant in Tassing can stand in a field, look over a valley and say St. Moritz was here. God was with us, and he is with us still, and he will be with us always. And that is the truth, even if the legend of St. Moritz is a lie. So many people have died because of what you've done, you know that? I know this is hard to believe, but I was trying to save lives to prevent death. How did that work out for you, man? One murder didn't solve the problem, did it? Because one day Baron Rothvogel rode into town with another copy of the Historia Tassia. A copy he promised to give to the abbot, so Kyoso could come to terms with its past. And if Father Gernot read its content, he would be facing the same danger you saw in Father Matthias. In retrospect, even though Father Gernot chose to run the abbey, my fears may have been unfounded. Do you think he wouldn't have cared? Whether he cared or not, I think the abbot would have been more concerned with preserving the abbey. But there was also the Baron himself. Given his provocations, he surely would have told people eventually. But why Otto? Certainly he didn't have anything to do with Historia Tassia. He couldn't even read. In the end, his murder provoked Peter and the others into destroying the abbey. Well, he had the head. I never thought that would happen. I underestimated Peter's anger and the peasants' frustration. He's so disconnected, that's why. You killed him to prevent an uprising, but you caused it instead. Someone else killed him, as someone else killed Baron Rothvogel, of course. And it wasn't to prevent an uprising, but to stop him from showing people what he found. What he found when he was helping to dig the foundation of the Rathaus. The wall of the aqueduct? No, everyone knows about the old aqueducts, that wouldn't cause alarm. What he found was a stone head. The missing head of the statue in the meadow, the statue of the shrine of Saint Moritz. How did it end up here? Most likely culprits are rain, floods, and time. Lexiel told me the farmers find old tools and pottery in the fields every year. And this head remained hidden for centuries. It sat in the soil until Otto found it. And he was going to show everyone that God had favored the town with his discovery. What Otto could not know is that our shrine statue was not of St. Moritz. Because Otto could not read the words chiseled across the helmet. Mars Potter. But the man he entrusted with this information, the town priest could. Yes. You told him to meet you on St. John's Eve at the Rathaus. I could not let him destroy our town's belief. And you had poor Sister Amelie write down what you told her were the vision. Visions she couldn't remember. And deliver them in the dead of night to Guy, to Hannah, and to Martin. So that one of them would murder Otto, just as someone murdered Lawrence. What about my father? I'm sorry, Magdalene. I lived next to you my whole life, how could you? Not that this was easy for me. I always thought I was doing what needed to be done. Was it because of the mural? Yes. Alice pursued the project with the determination of a guilty man doing penance. Kept digging and digging for answers about Tassing past, Kirso's past. I was afraid that sooner or later he would find out about Moritz and Seisha. This place, everything. So you tried to kill him, you son of a bitch? No, I tried to scare him. First with a note, but he ignored it. I thought if I ransacked the workshop it would scare him off. I didn't expect him to calm down so quickly. It was just an accident. Yeah, right. It wasn't an accident, you almost killed him. I know. What are you going to do now? Kill me? Kill Magdalene? No, of course not. I have neither the means nor the will to do so. But even if I can't stop you from telling people what I've done, I can stop them from finding this place. Kill him. Andreas. Fucking hell, two old men fighting, it's so pathetic. Well, Thomas, stop. It's too late for me, but I can still take Tassing secrets with me. Not really, I already painted the mural. Father, you're going to kill us all. You're going to kill Amelie. Then leave, and take her with you. You can tell the townsfolk what you want, but if you stay here, we'll die together. But Thomas, this is suicide. You're not going to heaven. You're going to hell. You would really kill yourself and destroy the church just to hide a secret? Churches can be rebuilt more easily than faith. I'm willing to pay the price for that. Can we just kick him in the balls already? Father. Go. What a dingus. You're right. I think so. You? In truth, no, but I survived. And so did she. They must have heard that at the Golden Hand. The entire church collapsing? I hope so. What an awful way to end a beautiful Christmas night. Christmas is ruined. What are we going to tell them? What do you mean? About this? About everything? Why wouldn't we just tell them the truth? Same reason Father Thomas hid it. Explain your thinking. I'm just not sure it makes sense. What good will it do to tell everyone about St. Moritz and St. Sasha? Maybe Father Thomas was right about that, if nothing else. Maybe we'll break their faith. I think he's wrong. I think people have enough faith to hear the truth. Suppose people here have had enough of their things in their lives broken. Ooh, this is a rough choice. I mean, what about the mural though? We can just tell them it's a story. Oh, this is such a tough choice. I mean, I feel like I worked so hard to uncover the truth that stopping now would be insane. Like, what have we, what, you know, all the things we've done until now, what have we done them for? Just to keep a lie? I don't think people have enough faith to hear the truth, honestly. They are still celebrating pagan rituals. And there's two kids named freaking Apollo and Artemis. Plus, you know, Black Teal preserving the ancient history, Ursula and the newer generation becoming more interested in the ancient pagan history. Oof, I don't know. And leaving them in the dark completely? I mean, it's true that it wouldn't do any good to them. Who else really wanted to know? Exactly. Like, who does it help? I'm leaving Tassing anyway, as Magdalene, I suppose, so... That way, Andreas is always going to be chained to this story. He's never going to be free of this entire thing. But at the same time, Andreas was cursed from the very beginning, so maybe that's his destiny. Fine, who cares? I'm gonna lie to the people. I'm just gonna leave Tassing and never think about it ever again. you've included. I'm sorry, Magdalene. It isn't fair. No, this is. I just want to say it, you know, out loud. We found out who did all of this, who attacked my dad. It's not like we can bring anyone back. We can't undo any of the hurt that he caused. Father Thomas won't be able to hurt anyone else. Maybe he never would have. Alright, we don't have to tell them. About the saints, the Romans, any of it. For the best, probably. For now. Of course. But should we tell them about Father Thomas then? Gonna leave that a mystery as well? Fair enough. You get Sister Amelie someplace warm. And take her to my house. Been a long time coming. He's got a lot of explaining to do. I'm glad you didn't die in that fire. I am too. I think. A Merry Christmas. Oh my god, that killed me. That actually made me cough. Merry Christmas, Andreas. Merry Christmas. I should say Merry Crispmas. Because he's very crispy. Oof. Too soon? I mean, it's been 18 years. Come on. Oh. Magdalene, you made it back. Yeah. Did you think I wouldn't? Well, I heard such a terrible din, and the house shook. I fear the worst. Is everything alright? It will be. MM. Are you alright, Dad? MM. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm just tired. Sit by me. Tell me what happened. Sure. I think Andreas might still be a little crazy, Dad. But he's fine. Tell him the truth. At least someone needs to know the truth. Andreas found an old Roman message there that pointed to the Mithrium. Huh. ... So we went into the aqueduct. The section we found must have been closed off for centuries. We found an old Roman bathhouse. We couldn't go through, so we found a way down a level under the bath. I think Andreas said it was a hypocaust. Got separated from Andreas. I was really afraid I'd lost him, that we both got lost down there. But then I heard his voice off in the distance and I was so relieved. Dad? Oh, fucking hell. Merry Christmas. Someone named Klaus as well, dying on Christmas, like... Truly there is no God. They never told... Oh my god, wait. A month? 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. 4 months later. Truly though, we never found out who killed the Baron. I mean, we know Hannah killed Otto, but we don't know who killed the Baron. I don't know. I know it's hard. I mean, I can only imagine how hard it is. Wink. That's what she said. But we will all do our best to make you feel welcome when you get here. It's strange to think that this will probably be the last letter I send to you. Well, I will end it with my love. Esther. Yeah, I'm moving. Yatsu? Magdalene? The fuck? Yes? I'm sorry to disturb you, but I wanted to let you know that everything is in order. Malthus has ensured that all of the financial matters will be handled. The money will be forwarded to you via the Reich post as soon as everything is settled. I appreciate it. Please thank him for me. Thank you for everything. Of course, Mistress Druckerine. I did not know your father well, but I know that he was well regarded by everyone who spoke of him. It seems that Tassing had lost many things in one man. I'm very sorry. Thank you. Good fortune to you. That was such an NPC thing to say. Good fortunes to you. Gertrude. Are you sure you have everything you need, Magdalene? I think so, thank you. I made you something to take with you on the road. It's chamomile, cinnamon, and wheat flour. Ooh. You're traveling and you're having cramps? I know, I'll use it. Well, Hildegard's recipe just called for a chamomile and wheat flour. I added the cinnamon for taste. I'm so sorry about what happened to your father. Thank you. Mother Francisca has had us all say prayers for him. And for you as well when she heard you were leaving. Oh, that's so sweet, actually, considering what I did to her. Please thank her for me. I will. We'll all miss you so much, Magdalene. I'll miss you too. God bless you. Safe travels. Veronica? Magdalene, I can't believe you're really leaving. Oh, absolutely. You should come visit me. Ah. The farthest I've ever been is the Mittenwald market, so I don't think that's very likely. Right fast though. We want to hear about your new life. I will. You're a special girl, Magdalene Druckerin. God, I'm reaching my limit already. I understand why you're leaving. God knows you have good cause. Tassing won't be the same without you. Safe travels and God bless you. I don't really want to talk to OTZ. Elias. Church is completely gone. I'm not gonna talk to OTZ. I have to. Oh, hey Mags. It's fucking Magdalene. Otto? I'm really sorry about your dad. He was always nice to me. My mom says he was a good man. He was a good dad. Well, thanks. I should get going. Mags? What? Magdalene. You sure you don't want to marry me? A little late for that, don't you think? Right. I just didn't want to spend the rest of my life wondering if I should have asked. You know? Look after your mother, OTZ. Who's Elias? I don't want to talk to him. Is the new prior? The new church boy? Morning, Mrs. Druckerin. Are you off soon? That I am. Of course, I'm sorry I didn't get the chance to know you or your father. God rest his soul. Don't let this bohemians put any heretical ideas into your head. Shut the fuck up. Once the pernicious seeds take root, they can choke the faith right out of you. I can choke the breath out of your lungs if you don't stop talking about freaking God after all of this happened. I'll keep my guard up. Just tell him whatever he wants to hear. Emily? God bless you, Sister Emily. Are you leaving today? Yes, I am. Just heading off to the mill in a bit. I'm so sorry for everything that happened. Well, that was winter. It's spring now. Oh, you almost tried to leave again. Thank you for helping me. You know what you'll do now? Will you become an anchoress again? I don't know, honestly. Father Elias is trying to help me, but I need to learn to rely on my own judgment a little more. It's going to take a long time to atone for my part in what happened. Perhaps the rest of my life. God knows he didn't mean to do harm. He does, but harm was done. I'm writing an account of what happened. As well as I can remember it anyway. You sure we should leave this one to do that? If it's not enough to earn forgiveness, I pray that it will at least illuminate this history of great darkness. It's worth remembering. God bless you, Emily. Bless and keep you safe on your travels, Magdalene. Alright. Can we see the rat house? I want to see the mural. Hang on. Hang on just 1 second. They won't let me. Gertrude is body blocking me. Surely they wouldn't leave it at that. Elsa? Magdalene, this is it? It is. Get out before this cursed town swallows you. Tassing will bring you nothing but anguish and misery, I know. Elsa, I hope one day you will find a path out of your own sorrow. God willing, though I am doubtful. Oh my god. Stay safe on the road. I'll be fine. Look after your family, Paul and Anna. I'll do what I can. They are all I have left. Without them. Never mind. Godspeed, Magdalene. Jesus Christ. Who's this Andreas? Wait. Oh my god, he shaved. I can't even recognize him. Are you sure I look alright? Of course, Andreas, you look perfectly respectable. You look like a... Sure. You're a little worse for wear, but a good sight better than you were. It was kind of the women to help me clean up. I mean, I think you had a look going on before this. Now you just look a rando, you know? I'm afraid I've forgotten how to look after myself. I would say you take care of yourself quite admirably. How many maniacs have survived in a burned out cellar for the better part of 20 years? Subsisting on a discarded ride, no less. Sorry about that. Andreas, we already told you it's alright now. Hey Chino, he looks crispy. He looks very crispy. Magdalene. Hello, Mag. Hi. You off soon? Hello, yes. I'm riding with your flower to Mittenwald. And then down the Isar. I'm sorry to see you go, Magdalene. Well, I hope Prague is everything you've dreamed of. It's probably going to be better than here. It is half the city Esther describes. I'm sure I'll love it. You have a chance to make a life of your own there. God knows I've squandered so much of mine. Use the time you have and use it well. I will. I don't know how, but I will. ... I wish you could have seen it, Andreas. I know. You would have loved it. I hope so. Can we see it as well? That's kind of you to say. You only words of encouragement, and besides, it's the truth. Magdalene, I wanted to ask you something about the mural before you go. Sure? MM? I thought it was supposed to cover the whole wall. Why did you leave a section blank? For the future. Unless history is going to stop in Tassing the moment I roll down the road. ... I think your wagon is about to leave. Oh, it is. Hardly feels like enough time. Thank you for everything you did for me, for my family. God bless you, Andreas Mahler. We made it. We made it out of Tassing. That's the best thing that ever happened to anyone in Tassing. Andreas? Are you alright? I'm lost. That's alright. You're welcome to stay with us for as long as you need. Oh my god, with Anna? That's the best outcome. Besides, can't leave yet. The children require your expertise. Oh? Up on the mill, the walkway. I'll have supper ready when you're done. They're drawing on the mill. Just remember that you're always welcome in our home, Andreas. Thank you. We made it out of Tassing after 25 years. Yeah, basically. Well, Magdalene made it out of Tassing. Can I see the mural? Can I sneak? No. Aw, look at the two little artists. Hey, that's my hat. You know, I wish one of these things would pass and the hat switched, you know? Just Andreas stealing his own hat back. Oh, well, I mean, something did happen. We're gone. They're not even showing me the fucking mural. Oh no, this is the place. Oh, this is the mural. Oh, thank God. Music is a bit ominous. Oh, look. Peter and Ulrich. And the soldiers in the background. With bloody swords. Like Moritz and Sasha. Founding of the Abbey. Magdalene Druckerin. Did she paint herself leaving for Prague? Oh, she painted the maybe someone else painted this after she was gone. Maybe Andreas did. Like, there's all the people in Tassing. It's the entire... Ursula and Václav were burned at the stake? Oh fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Kraft married Utah, not Artemis. Holy shit, look at this. Is the best ending though for Endris. Look how many children they had. And the hunters, the pilgrims. Andreas Müller. So it's the little kid, the little Andreas. Holy shit though. Ursula, what an ending. Damn, dude. All right, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good ending, you know. I would say almost completely satisfying, other than the fact that we don't know who killed the Baron. I wish you will. This was a great story. It was a really good story, yeah. The game clearly has issues, but the story was absolutely fantastic. Obviously, the pacing is a little off, and there's so much to read with not a single voice acted line. But holy crap, it was absolutely great. Yeah. Chino said, what did it say? How did you like the twist with Father Thomas? I liked it. I mean, I always thought that Thomas was kind of off. I didn't think he would be the one, but it did make sense. It did make a lot of sense. I suppose I at least got that was someone from the church that did this. Someone was trying to protect the holy history of Tassing. That much was clear, and that much we figured out. Now, exactly who it was, I didn't quite get it, but maybe if it wasn't for the fact that I am still quite sick, I would have thought about it a little bit more. Oh, thank you, Chino. Thank you very much for the sub. Thank you so much for the past months. No, thank you. No, you. But no, the ending was great. Though I would like to know, out of curiosity, who killed Baron Rothvogel? Who killed the Baron? No one knows. Who is the killer? The murders of Baron Lawrence and Otto, taking place respectively in the Act 1 and 2, have no clearly identifiable perpetrator. The player has no way of knowing. That's insane. Although I don't agree with the Otto thing. I think it was clear that it was Hannah, and I think someone said so, or at least hinted at the fact that it was Hannah. Very strongly, but it may change based on who you choose, so I don't know. I think for the Baron, it was completely out there. It's absolutely impossible to guess. But for Otto, Mm. Some people say it was lucky to kill the Baron. Interesting. We never really learned much about Lucky. In fact, I think we had maybe one conversation with him. But you know, this game could be replayed, and at least the first 2 chapters would be completely different if played in a different way. Is my chat acting up? We're back. Okay. It could also have been Ottilia. There was like the broken cane in her house. I still think that Matilda may have been the real killer. The bloody shovel, the fact that she said she killed baby bunnies and no one else kind of said anything about that. It was never about the murder, more about the town itself. Oh yeah, it was absolutely a slice of Tassing. Like the entire game is just about life in Tassing for those 25 years. You can tell how much dedication they had to bring to life all these different characters, and I think they did a fantastic job in that regard. Like, the town felt alive, and by the end you really feel like you've known most of them through multiple generations, which is absolutely incredible. Like, the amount of work that goes behind something like this is insane. Did you know that the first execution round varies based on the gender of the accused? Women get strangled and men get decapitated. Right. Was it the real thing back in the days? I mean, it seems like they really worked to portray, you know, history very accurately. I don't know if they hired some sort of expert on ancient, like, German history or whatever, but it was really well done, you know. And it was a complicated time, like the passage between the old pagan gods and Christianity, and then Christianity going through the schism and the Lutheran revolt protest or whatever. It was wild, especially considering at the time faith has such an important role in people's lives, and even in like politics and economy. So yeah, and I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. I don't know if the game was a little too long for its own good. Maybe a little shorter would have been a little better. The Sennheisers are very nice, to be honest. Sennheisers are like great headphones in general, yeah. I had an amazing experience with the Sennheisers. Yeah, the game ran for about... I don't even know how long. Let's see. We've done 3, 3, 6, 7, 8.5, 9, 10.5, 12 hours, 15 hours, 16.5, 17, 18. Then we've done another like 2, 22, 23.5 hours or something. Oh shit, what happened? A doll sneaked into the sentence. Oh, that's so fucked up. I mean, you should be a regular at this point. I don't even know how Stream Elements decides who's a regular or not. How do I fix that? User management. Let's see. No. Hang on, can I even type? Ew. This level, regular. Add user. There you go. I like that Hexa is a super moderator, not even a normal moderator, like a super moderator. I don't even know what the difference is, but yeah, so the game ran for about 22 hours for me. That's a little long for a game like this. But you know, arguably it isn't. Some people can play RPGs that are 100 hours long and they will absolutely read everything. I guess for streaming, it's a little different, and it was a little too long. At the same time, though, if I wasn't sick, it would probably been much, much shorter. I think Hexa can add and modify commands. Oh yeah, I think so. The pacing was definitely on the slow side, but I kind of liked it. I mean, it definitely suited the kind of game it is. Maybe it's possible that my opinion is a little skewered because I had to take like a 2 weeks break, and then I came back to a game with a fuck ton of reading, and I can barely read anything, so... Oh boy. The atmosphere, the character, the story, it was absolutely phenomenal in that regard. I'm a sucker for mystery games, so yeah, this was truly a good one. And that's where we're gonna leave it. Say goodbye to Pentiment. We are done, officially, as of right now.